Hello there, welcome to the Freebooters Network. I'm Dale Kingsmill, and this is my Newbie's Guide series for all those looking to delve into the lore of 40k and who maybe find themselves completely overwhelmed by it. You know, like me. If you're joining us for the first time and would like to hear the story from the beginning, there's a card in the top corner which will take you back to the first episode. Last we left off, the Necron tier had sold their souls to the godlike Catan, dropped the tier from their name, become robots, and headed out to get payback against the space frogs known as the Old Ones for not teaching them how to be immortal without selling their souls. The Old Ones weren't ready for such a turning of the tables, and one of the biggest things enabling the Necrons to have such immense victories was their breaching of the webway. The Old Ones had been using this system to travel vast distances in next to no time forever, and the minute a Catan known as Neadrazath, I'm so good with names. The minute a Catan known as Neadrazath showed the Necrons how to break in and use it for themselves, the game was on. The method they used to bust into the webway was via these things called dolmen gates, living stone portals, because everything with these guys is living minerals, which was super unstable, but got the job done as far as the single-minded Necrons were concerned. As they began to spread and dominate the galaxy in their new immortal forms, the Necrons and their Catan masters would harvest the younger species of the Milky Way, so the Catan could suck their potential life energies all up into them. Then something went down, whether because they were running out of food, or because they were naturally inclined to discord, or because they were tricked by the laughing god as the Eldar hold. The Catan began to fight amongst themselves, even to the point of devouring one another in their ravenous hunger. Eventually, there were very few, like only 4 of them left. Meantime, on the Old Ones' side of events, they'd been hard at work creating new species, more in tune with the psychic powers associated with the warp, hoping they'd be able to utilize the psychic energy to combat the Star Gods, knowing that, as soulless beings tied purely to the material realm, the forces of the immaterium were a powerful weakness to the Star Gods. Yes, someone pointed out to me in the comments of the last video that I incorrectly assumed the Catan were of the immaterium. Now that I've read a little further, that makes more sense. Or less sense. You know what I'm saying. Catan aren't from the warp is what I'm saying. Then, something went down. Again! By tapping into the psychic energy of the warp so hardcore, the Old Ones accidentally unleashed hell. Kinda literally. Remember when I said that the immaterium reflects everything from the materium? Well, all the cajillions of souls lost during this war shoved into the immaterium formed one hell of a maelstrom, taking form in the warp. All these freaky warp soul things began fighting to enter the physical realm through the cracks between immaterium and materium. The webway became even more of a liability, which honestly seems like an understatement at this point, and the Old Ones had to shut that the hell down. All the psychic allies they'd created were especially susceptible to all of this crazy, and it proved one thing too many for the Old Ones to handle. Finally, they were defeated and disappeared, whether that means that they were killed to death or just skedaddling to a new galaxy to start over and pretend like nothing happened. Meantime, from the silent King Sarek side of things, Sarek still kind of held on to his own wits and morals post-robot and was waiting this whole time for the perfect moment to strike. With the Old Ones dealt with once and for all and the Catan super tuckered out from all that fighting, he finally took his chance and led the Necrons in a grand revolt to overthrow the Star Gods. They somehow made these super crazy powerful uber weapons and used them to destroy the remaining Catan. Destroy gets air quotes because the Star Gods are basically unkillable, but the Necrons did pull an Osiris and blast the Catan into itty bitty little pieces and hid each and every shard locked within multi-dimensional labyrinths. So I mean, you know, it's one way to handle a bad boss. Sarek had led his people to victory, but could tell that, look, this just wasn't gonna be a good time to be rulers of the galaxy. Just real dull and not glorious in the slightest post-war. So he ordered that all remaining Necron cities be turned into tombs. Not really much of a change though, is it? And that everyone should go to sleep for 60 million years, and then when they woke up to see what had grown after the devastation of the war in heaven, then they could take over everything and rule properly. Then finally he severed the command protocols that made all the Necrons obey him and flew off into space somewhere. Like freaking the Hulk at the end of Age of Ultron, just flung himself into the void. Alright then, sure, whatever. And that's where we're leaving it today. We finished the war in heaven. Well done us. That's a pat on the back, well earned. That was a terrible pat on the back though. If you'd like to, you can subscribe to the Freebooters Network for more of this. These Newbie's Guide videos will be coming out around every fortnight or 2 weeks for your stateside. We're gonna be following this story through all the way up to the end of the Horus Heresy. It's gonna be a ride and a half, and I'd love for you to join me. Speaking of which, once again, my name is Dale Kingsmill, and you can find me making more good stuff all the time on my own channel, Monarch's Factory. I will see you some other time.